I don't know if it's all of these, if it's 40, 41,
Yeah,
and,
that's it.
and 42. It's three of them?
40, 41, and 42.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. just met her. IT girl, really? 2017. All right. I want to welcome everyone to City Hall. Just had a brief delay as we're getting ready. I had to come over from Bull Street. We had a wonderful announcement. Cap Gemini, a $15 billion corporation with 200,000 employees in 40 countries, have announced they're moving to Bull Street and had their first 350 employees over there. We expect to get up to 500 of them. It was an exciting announcement. Hoping and praying that tonight will be a short meeting. As you might see, we're a little bit short-staffed. Our city manager's traveling. Councilman Rickman is traveling. Ms. McDowell has some family issues he's been dealing with. So we're so happy to have each and every one of you in your city hall tonight. And we're going to kick off the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So after the clerk does her roll call, and the clerk, our clerk is sick too, so we have an assistant clerk here, and so everyone's kind of just filling the roles today. Thank God for some awesome deep bench. So we'll have the roll call, and then I'm going to bring Mr. Ian Lorick up, who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. As he puts his hand up, I love it. Please.
Good evening, Mr. Rickman, Mr. McDowell, Mr. Duvall.
Here.
Mr. Vine.
Here.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Mayor Benjamin.
Here.
Thank you.
Ian, why don't you come on up and please stand for the pledge. You stand right here. Stand right here. Turn this way. In fact, why don't you go move the microphone, turn the microphone around to you a little bit so people can hear you. He's in charge. He knows exactly what he's doing. I like it. And turn this way and face the flag. Let the microphone catch your voice.
Yeah.
Step that way. 2 steps that way. Yeah. Just move the microphone out. Yeah. You face us.
There you go. Stand this way. There you go. Face the flag now.
Need an old soldier to do that.
There you go. Like this.
All right.
Right there. Pledge allegiance. Go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Ian,
Good job.
Ian, tell us which school you go to and a little bit about you. Okay, real quick.
I go to Lake Carolina Upper Campus. My favorite sport is football. My favorite color is blue.
How great you?
Great.
I'm in 4th grade.
All right. Good job.
And I get a sense he's never met a stranger either. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say? Thank y'all all so much for being here, Mr. Assistant City Manager. Why don't you move on through the agenda, and we're going to make a couple of adjustments to the agenda, please.
Yes, sir. For the consent agenda, we asked if we can move item number 10. There will be an amendment for that.
Off the
at
consent
the end of
agenda.
consent.
And then also we're going to move up the recognition of Bishop Lorick to the top of the agenda, because I know everybody here, for the recognition of Bishop Lorick, I know y'all want to stay here all night with us. I know that you really want to, but just in case you don't, Bishop, we want to give y'all the opportunity to go home a little early and take care of the important things. So let's go ahead and move item number 44 up as well. Okay, absolutely. So, any public input related to agenda items? Seeing none? All right. I'm sorry? Please join us in a moment of prayer. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to gather here today in the People's House in City Hall, and ask that you give us, the elected representatives of the people of the city, the wisdom and grace and good judgment to do what is right, not only by man's laws, but in your eyes. We ask for your guidance, and we ask that you continue to watch over the people of Columbia. We ask that you watch over our colleagues and our staff and grant them traveling mercies, and we ask that you a special prayer over Reverend McDowell and our clerk, Ms. Moore, as they deal with personal and family health issues. In the name of His Son, Christ, who coming forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of September 19th and October 20th?
So move.
Second.
All right. And I guess we have to, we're going to remove clearly item 10 from the consent agenda. All right. Is there a motion to approve items 11 through 39?
So move.
We didn't vote.
I'm sorry?
We didn't vote on the minutes.
We didn't vote in the minutes. I apologize, Madam Clerk. I'm moving through pretty hastily. We're going to vote on the minutes.
Who moved and who seconded? Sam moved, I second. Thank you. Mr. Duvall?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right.
I move consent agenda 11 through 39.
All right. 11:39. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, move the previous question. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Duvall?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Grant us a point of personal privilege. We're going to move down to item number 44.
I would move the approval of Resolution R 2017-121, approving the honorary naming of the intersection of North Beltline Boulevard and Two Notch Road, Bishop C.L. Josh Lorick Jr. intersection.
Is there a second?
Second.
Columbia is a special place. It's the capital city of the state, and it's and I don't care what the people in Charleston say. It's the largest city in the state. Still, it's amazing how it's a place that you can, if you don't want to see somebody, you really don't have to see them. But if you want to see the people who are doing things, you can see them every single day. It's that kind of small town feel in a growing large and growing city environment. And to have had the honor and pleasure of knowing Bishop Lorick, and to know him in the way that so many of you have known him as colleague, as a professional, as Tamika and my wife and others work with him over the years, to know him as a spiritual leader and community leader, to know him as an advocate for our young people, an active advocate, not just talking about it, but doing it for decades. And always, regardless of the issue that we were dealing with, always always working to bring people together, always seeking to build consensus and provide good, strong leadership. I've heard people say, speaking about our just the people who helped build this country, they just don't make them like that anymore. And Corey, your daddy is an amazing man, a genuinely good man. And I as you guys started clapping, I saw Ms. Devine start getting choked up, and I told myself I wasn't going to tear up either. But I will tell you, we miss Bishop Art. We miss him. This community is less than without him. But thankfully, we are who we are because of him, and because of your grandfather. And so many others that I know he inspired over the years. So I know Mr. McDowell, if he could be here as well, he would want to actively participate in this recognition. And Corey, you would know protocol in the church better than I would, but if you'd like to say something on behalf of your family or the church, or if someone else might say something, I want to give you that opportunity.
Mayor Benjamin, Councilwoman Devine, Councilman Duvall, Councilman Davis, to the chief, just thank you. It's been 8 months to the day since Bishop passed. My mom is here, his mom is here, mother-in-law, our newly elected pastor, his brother, David Lorg, and his wife. And so the community, the council looks like what he did, the chambers tonight. He loved the city of Columbia, and so just having, it's not about just his name, but I know the fact that everything that he served, we laughed because a friend of mine, Sergeant Nelson, and his wife, two military individuals there, friends, but what's funny is they were neighbors, and I laughed today and asked him if he also, in addition to having served in the military for 20 years, is a photographer. And I said, just if you make it down, take some pictures. And he said, of what? And I told him, and he laughed because he didn't know my dad for being a bishop. He didn't know him for doing all the community advocate stuff. He knew him because on holidays, he deep fried him 2 turkeys. And he said, a guy like that surely had something else that he could have been doing with 4 to 5 hours that it took to do those turkeys. But the person that he was, he took just as much joy, and he did teaching and sharing with people as he did in putting those turkeys in. So I just stand again on behalf of my family, my wife and son that couldn't be here, but on behalf of the Rehoboth Church family, all of those that stood up, and just thank you to you all. And I trust and know that you have an advocate, a friend, and a connection with the Rehoboth Church, with the Lorick family, and all that he done, we'll do our best not to let it pass so that the vision doesn't just stick with the sign, that it rests on with the work and the energy of all that we have. So thank you all very much.
We want people to know when they cross that intersection that a truly good and great man helped influence the growth, not just of this church, but this entire community. So Ms. Devine just reminded me we hadn't voted yet, so we're going to vote. Clerk, please call the roll. All right. Second.
Mr. Duvall?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. That's Might be a little bit vertically challenged. Don't pretend now. Y'all come on front.
Turn here and he's gonna take it. That way he can try. Oh, this way. The mayor's gonna bring it up. You stand right there, Mayor.
We can make it interesting, but
God bless you. I'm sorry, we got to stick with these things.
Ian, great job. All right, so we are. We lose Ms. Devine? Oh, there she is. So we have 44 done. Okay.
Which ones are they?
All right.
Ready?
I think we're up to item 40? Are we on 40?
10.
10, okay, let's do 10, okay, super. All right.
Okay. Agenda item 10, council is asked to approve a maintenance and security agreement between Richland County and the City of Columbia for the Gills Creek Section A Greenway project.
Mr. Duval.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move approval of the agreement with an amendment to paragraph 1, the Greenway. I would like to delete the last sentence of that paragraph and substitute the following, which I will give to the clerk. The parties agree that in no event will the proposed Greenway alignment include any connection to the Hampton Estates neighborhood, nor will the Greenway alignment be located in whole or in part in the Hampton East Estates neighborhood, with the entirety of the system to remain on the west bank.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? With the previous question, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. And 40?
Items 40, 41, and 42.
Those are all Wood Creek
Yes.
Farms? Okay. For the students observing the day, usually any items that come up that have to do with the neighborhood I live in or anything that might present a perceived conflict of interest, we tend to recuse ourselves from those matters. So I'm going to disappear from the room for a second and come right back in a second, all right?
Okay,
You don't have a vote.
Yeah, we're good.
we get, yeah, as long as a quorum is established, then we can move forward. So, under 40, is there a motion for ordinance number 2017-104?
Move approval.
Is there- Okay, it's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Seeing none, if the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. DeVaul?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Is there a motion, number 41, comprehensive plan amendment confirmation?
I move approval.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. DeVaul?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
And number 42, zoning map amendment confirmation.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. DeVaul?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
All right. Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Miriam is up.
Might have seemed fairly dramatic. There's really just some Purell back there, a bowl of mints, and that's it, right? No, not much at all. All right.
Okay, item 43, an update from the Capital City Lake Murray Country Regional Tourism Board. Ms. Miriam Atria, President, CEO of Capital City Lake Murray Country Regional Tourism Board.
Hello, Miriam.
Hello. Ooh, I'm sliding all over the place here.
We made some adjustments around here. That used to be stable. No
Okay.
more. Gotta be flexible in 2017.
Well, thanks, Mayor Benjamin and Councilmember Sam Davis, and happy birthday, Councilmember Tamika Isaac.
Thank you.
Councilmember Howard Duvall. Thank you for this opportunity and the time to come before you and give you some good news and a few updates. I have passed over to Libby Gober our annual report, and she's going to be copying all of you on that. This was issued in late August, and the report itself does not reflect all that we've done in the month of August, which was the Forest Wood Cup and a little thing called the solar eclipse. So, but we wanted to share some of that information with you and make sure that you had a hard copy of it. The 2017 economic impact of the Forest Wood Cup was over $30 million. This wasn't a 3-day event this time. I believe Councilmember Howard Duvall was there to greet the professional anglers and their spouses for the red carpet event we had, but I wanted to share with council some real numbers because they're quite stunning.
And Councilman Sam Davis won the championship.
I was going to get that.
Oh, you were going to get to that? I thought you were leaving out Sam. I didn't want-
Yes, he did. He made us proud.
Biggest fish.
He won the championship what?
He won the celebrity fishing tournament.
And what did he catch?
He caught a real live large bass fish. A couple of them, actually. 2 of them. Didn't you, Sam?
The one person back there who believes it. Was that you, Catherine?
We haven't
He did
documented-
not stop by Bilo or Harris Teeter on the way back and pick that up? Nope.
No.
He actually caught it?
It's actually on video film.
You weren't here. It's on tape,
So
okay.
if you-
I'll go back to the videotape, okay.
So out of the 68,000 plus spectators, they generated over $20 million in personal expenses. A media advertising value, which did not include any television, was $6.8 million for this area. $250,000 was actually spent in our local media advertising the event. $146,000 was spent to support facility rentals for the region. $20,000+ in park revenue at Drew Island. $624,000+ spent by the anglers and their staff while they were here. $104,000+ was valued back in advertising revenue to Capital City Lake Murray Country for advertising on flwfishing.com. $1.3 million TV advertising value from our television ad that we run on the Ford County region. And then another $182,000+ that our organization spent over a 2-year period promoting the event in the FLW Bass Fishing magazines. So overall, again, a $30 million economic impact. We pray that we can only get this event back in the next 5 years. We are on a cycle, and rotation cycle. So we'll have to put it out to bid to see if that will come back. But we were here tonight to tell you about two very important things that are getting ready to happen. Has anyone ever heard of Major League Fishing?
Yes.
Well, this is a fishing reality, Mayor Benjamin, show, and it is in its 7th season. And it appears every year on the Outdoor Channel. And we lured 24 of the nation's top anglers to compete in the Bass Pro Shop Summit back in June 2017 on Lake Murray. Well, this was one of those real secret events we couldn't tell anybody about because they were actually competing to be the winner of that show and filming at the same time. The television series features some of the biggest fishing names, which includes contestants from the Bassmaster Classic Series, as well as Angler of the Year winners throughout and title holders throughout from Bassmasters Again and FLW Tour. The 6-day competition crowned the Challenge Select champion. So, CCM LMC, our organization, proudly welcomed the competitors, and more importantly, we're going to get really excited about the national exposure which is yet to come through the 36 hours of television shows on the Outdoor Channel. We're going to show very shortly a short clip that kind of shows you, here we had the anglers fishing. We had economic impact from that. They stayed in our hotels, spent money in our region. But how do we carry that tourism pot of money and make it grow even more? We're going to get great advertising value out of it. So we know that it's going to be on television for those 36 weeks. So in each one of those clips will be a community film segment telling people, why should you come here? So we're going to show that, I believe, the technician.
Someone's queuing it up, I'm sure.
Someone's keyed up. Anyway, the tournament, again, this is going to air in March on the Outdoor Channel. This is the first time in Major League Fishing time that they've ever fished in South Carolina. This is a work print, which means they're still editing it into the TV show. So excuse the print over the film. Sorry, there's an issue.
Technical difficulties.
Technically difficult. If we can't see it tonight, I can make sure that I email it to each and every one of you for airing. I'll keep going, and if it comes up, I'll stop, okay? So moving away from Major League Fishing, Capital City Lake Murray Country has taken it to the top. We are becoming global partners and a key element in the movement to make bass fishing an Olympic sport. Partnering with the U.S. Angling Confederation over the next 4 years.
Miriam is starting.
Hey, I'm Casey Ashley, a native South Carolinian, and it feels good to be in the home state this week.
And I'm Miriam Atria, and it's our pleasure to welcome Major League Fishing to our region. As Casey knows, no matter what your passion is, Lake Murray Country has a lot to experience and discover. History lovers can take a step back in time at the Lexington County Museum. This attraction focuses on the everyday daily routines of our local residents, from the colonial period to the end of the Civil War.
And if you're more of a nature lover, you won't be disappointed visiting Congaree National Park. There you can kayak or hike in the largest bottomland hardwood forest remaining in the southeastern U.S.
If family adventures are your passion, then create lasting memories at Riverbank Zoo, one of the top 10 zoos in America. Featuring more than 2,000 animals and natural habitat exhibits, and one of the nation's most beautiful botanical gardens. Don't miss Pier 39 and the new Sea Lion exhibit.
If you're going to visit Lake Murray Country, you've got to enjoy some R&R on one of the finest lakes in the South. From sailing to stand-up paddleboarding, Lake Murray is truly the playground of the whole region.
So if you want to experience American history or embark on a family adventure,
Or if you're an adventurous spirit trying to reconnect with nature,
come visit Lake Murray Country, the jewel of South Carolina. Again, the logos and everything will be pretty and right when it's aired. That is one clip. There will be 35 more. So what great exposure for our area. Back to our other announcement, where we're partnering with the U.S. Angling Confederation over the next 4 years. Our organization sponsored back in August the U.S. Bass Fishing Team, who competed in the 2017 World Championship in South Africa. And the U.S. Fishing Team came in with the second medal, gold medal. But next year, that team will be going to Mexico in 2018, and then they will return back to South Africa in 2019. But in 2020, the United States will host its first World Championship at Lake Murray.
Right.
78 foreign countries. So we're really excited about that. The application, as I said, has been made to the International Olympic Committee to recognize bass fishing as an Olympic sport. U.S. anglers believe that this 4-year plan will make this dream a reality and propel bass fishing and the fishing industry to the next level. And the World Championship will become known as the Ryder Cup of bass fishing. But, you know, more importantly, the fishing world is already buzzing about the fact that we here in Columbia and in South Carolina stepped up. We were their first sponsor in the United States to step up to believe in that cause, that would happen. So I wanted to just take the time today to give you some of the things that we're working on. We've got our Staycation Week that we're going to be doing, and this is going to be a week of vacation packages that will be promoted throughout our state to lure families to vacation here. We want people here to vacation here, so they will learn what our region has to offer, which it has a lot to offer, and they can be our ambassadors. They can be our marketeers to go out and tell the world everything that we have to offer. And I believe I left something with you, Mayor Benjamin, on another project that we've been discussing. But our organization has stepped out. We want to put a major welcome to Columbia out on I-77 in the form of a sign, a very unique sign. It is a 5-year plan for our organization, and we're waiting for the legislature to get back in session so we can get back to work on it. Thank you for your time today. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday again.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for all the work that you do. Mr. Duval?
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to thank Miriam for her enthusiastic support of the eclipse. She was a volunteer to the committee before we even had the thought of having a committee. She said, we're going to have a committee and I want to be on it. And it was very successful. She had a lot of people.
80,000+.
81,000 people out at the lake, and we had equal number or more downtown, and her enthusiasm through the whole thing was catching on the whole committee. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. And I'd love to see the videotape of Mr. Davis catching this bass as well, if that's available.
I will try to get you. I will try to make that happen for you.
He's a man of many talents. I learn a new one every time we talk.
I think he was even shocked. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And all the support that you give us.
Appreciate you.
Couldn't do any of this without your support.
Thank you. My
You
best.
remember that.
My best to Nick too. All right, give him my best.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. 45.
Next item is first reading ordinance number 2017-109, amending the 1998 Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, Chapter 14, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, Article 9, Offenses Against the Public Peace and Order, to add Section 14-100, Enhanced Trigger Devices Declared Illegal Exceptions.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'm thankful that the City of Columbia is taking a lead role in addressing this major issue that hopefully will find other cities, other states, and hopefully the Congress of the United States addressing this serious loophole. And excited to see what the future brings. With the previous question, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye.
Item 46, council is asked to approve the installation of one additional streetlight on Ames Road between Mayor Street and Dairy Street as requested by the Traffic Engineering Division.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to the previous question. The clerk call the roll.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. We have any items discussed at work session that need action tonight? Do we need to address, accept the legislative agenda? I don't think so. Was that Kyle's
We
report?
didn't do it downstairs, so we could.
Is there a motion?
I move we approve the legislative agenda of the Municipal Association adopted by the City of Columbia.
Second.
Any discussion? Move to the previous question. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. Are there any items for committee report or referral?
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted, for the record, the report, the Environment and Infrastructure Committee met 2 weeks ago, and at that meeting, we did have the presentation, the walk-bike plan presentation that we had earlier in work session. And from that presentation, we're expecting some comment back and report from BPAC, and hopefully they'll bring that to the full council early part of next year.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Devine. Any other items for report or referral? Seeing none, no one signed up for public comment. We'll have a non-debatable motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll move to the previous question. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. Devine?
Aye.
Mr. Davis? Mayor Benjamin?
Aye. I don't want you guys to get spoiled. It's not like this every time, okay? You guys got the shortest meeting probably in a long time, so aye.